this is SSLFamilyDad with Simple Suburban Living, and today I'm going to be showing you how I like to use some sustainable materials, some old coffee cans and glass jars of any type that you have around the house, to do a little bit of organization in your garage or workshop or wherever you keep things. I think one of the biggest struggles that many of us have, including myself, is how to organize and sort through all the little bits and pieces that you end up with over time. Screws and nails and staples and PVC fittings and electrical fittings and wire nuts and all the different things that you end up with. You know, I've used those little organizers with the drawers and stuff like that, the clear drawers in the past. They end up seeming to break, they're cheap. I know you can get some nicer ones, I'm sure, but this is just kind of a simple and easy way using some free materials that you have around the house to organize some of your things. So I've got the garage heater cranked up here and warming up the garage a little bit, and so we'll go ahead and take you through the process that we're going to use to get these ready for organization. Alright, first thing we're going to do is just give these a coat of paint so that they look less like coffee cans and more like storage cans, and I'm just using some basic Krylon paint. This is specifically for plastic, and I'm using a forest green color here. Alright, so once we got the cans all painted up, I just want to make a spot on these so I can label them. Since you can't see what's inside, obviously, you want to have a way to label. I don't like using tape and permanent types of labels because I seem to change things around all the time. So what I'm doing here is I've just cut out some rectangles in a piece of paper, and I've got that taped on to where I want the label to be. What I'm going to end up using is just this chalkboard paint. I'm going to give this a try. Use this in other projects, and it actually works really well. So I'm just going to try to make a small chalkboard label on here where I can write in with chalk whatever's in the bin, and if it wipes off, I can rewrite it on there. That way, if I change things around, I can just erase it and write whatever new label I want on there. Alright, so while we're letting some paint dry on the coffee can organizers, we'll get started with these. And basically what I have here I'm going to use today is I've got two different types of jars. These are just a dill pickle, the hamburger chips type jars, a little bit shorter and wider. And then I've got a tall salsa type jar, some generic brand of salsa. And these are the two jars that we're going to be using. Now, you can save up whatever jars you want, spaghetti sauce, larger jars, smaller jars. You can even use your canning jars, regular size like canning jars. Those are, of course, we want to use those for canning, but I guess if you had any rusty lids or old ones or something like that you wanted to get rid of, you could use those, same type of idea. So first thing we're going to do is just take the labels off of these jars. I've got one that we already have the label peeled off, and I already peeled the labels off of these jars as well. And we're just going to take the lids and drill a couple holes in it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to make sure that they're kind of spread apart at a decent width here. This will prevent the jar from turning once we get it mounted, and I'll show you what we're doing with these here in a minute. This will become clear. Okay, so I've got some space underneath a cabinet here that I have mounted up on the wall next to the workbench, and I thought this would be a great area to kind of use some of the space underneath here that I'm not utilizing right now for some organization. And these jars are going to work great. The reason I'm using the jars is because they're see-through, so I don't have to label them. I can easily see what's inside the jar, and basically what we're going to do is we've got our holes drilled in the lids of these jars here. Just going to mount the lids right underneath this, and I'll stagger the different type of jars that we have along the back here, and that'll allow us to really easily just come up and take the jar off, take it with us, use the screws or nails or wire nuts or whatever we want to use, and then this will screw it back on there. So you'll see kind of what I'm talking about when we get it finished here. But I'll take you in close and just show you how we're getting these mounted up, and then we'll start to get some things organized. Okay, so I've just kind of made some spacing lines along here, about every 5.5 inches, just so I can get these kind of evenly spaced. And I'm just screwing these in with some small wood screws. And once those are all mounted in here, nice and secure, nothing's going to pull that off. All right, so here's the final product with the coffee can organizers, and these are really nice because they've got these handy handles built right in, and I like the chalkboard and the little labels there. Actually works really good, so I don't think those will rub off very easily when I'm out and about working around. And you know, like I said, I always change labels on things, so it's nice to be able to just erase it and rewrite something else on there. But these are going to be real good. I'm going to try to keep saving these and get another shelf full because I've got lots of stuff to fill them with. So I think this is going to be good. All right, this is kind of the final product here with the jar organizers. I got this idea quite a few years ago from an older guy who we used to rent a home from, and out in the garage he had a whole row of jars. Actually, he used canning jars, and he had all his different screws and bolts and nuts and washers and all kinds of stuff organized, and it was really cool. So I really like this. Again, free way to kind of get things organized. Now if I could just get somebody to come out here and organize all my stuff for me, that would be awesome. But these work really well, so really easy to just take with you, dump out on the workbench, sort through whatever you need, scoop it back into the jar and screw them in here. They're very tight, they're not going to fall off. I mean, I guess if you drop the jar it's going to break, but don't do that. And if you do, just go grab another one, so it's not real hard. So I really like this idea, and you know, this is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time and been saving up jars. So I'm going to add probably another 10 of these things under here because I've got lots of stuff to organize in these. So, but all in all, you know, I think this is just a great way to use things that we have around the house. A little bit of spray paint and a couple wood screws, and we've got a way to easily organize some things in the shop. One of the most frustrating things I always find when I'm working on a project is I don't know where something's at. I spend a lot of time searching for tools, searching for that one fitting that I needed or that one screw. You know, so this is just a really great way to have things right out in the open. It doesn't look half bad, and I can come right up here and say, okay, I need a nut. I can dump these out and look for a different size that I need. Same thing with screws and nails, and you know, the better you organize it, the more you have of these, the better off you are, because you can sort your nails into different sizes and all that kind of stuff. So things that we all collect over time, and just a great way to organize it. So please let me know if you have any questions about anything, or if you have any other ideas, and what do you do in your shop or your garage or your barn to organize things. I'd love to know. Throw that in the comments below. Please hit thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed the video at all, or found it informational, or liked the idea. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to follow along. I'd love to have you. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.